Hello everyone, it's World Warrior FGC with a new video today, and we're going to be looking at Ken's Season 5 changes. Now the first thing that we're going to look at is, for example, you'll notice that a lot of characters across the board have had increased health and stun. So Ken's health is now increased from 1000 to 1025. His stun has increased from 1000 to 1050. Also his thunder kick is now -7. Now it's not necessarily much of a bad thing. The reason why, because all overheads are now -7 across the board, so Ken is not being picked on and punished individually. Everyone has got this treatment. So let's dive right into his changes. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at is Ken's crouch medium punch buff. Basically, what it basically is, it's less pushback on his crouch medium punch. It doesn't really give you any new combos or anything like that, but the design behind this, I'm assuming, is that it links better with Chin Buster 1. So a lot of people complained, obviously, the situations when they're jumping in and the opponent's getting pushed too far back and they're just not getting the Chin Buster. So this is something to kind of help out with that. Now, one thing that I did find a little bit weird by doing this is that his medium kick Tatsu looks a little bit weird, but it does still combo into an EXDP. In this particular combo I'm going to show you right now. So it looks almost like it's not comboable, but it actually is, so that combo's still there. This also gives you more consistency with jumping in with a hard kick. So if you go something like this, you've got more consistency on hitting the chin buster after a jumping hard kick. Sometimes that would whiff, but that's now a little bit better. Now the other advantage that you get from this less pushback on the crouch medium punch is that if you do hard punch fireball, you can now get this from every range, basically, whether it's close, whether it's far, whether it's max range, you are guaranteed that fireball. So this is also a good idea and even like a good situation if you want to activate V trigger. That's something that's always a plus, because Ken's fireball links are generally not that great, so at least we now have a little something that we can work on and we can push forward a little bit further. Now his next change is to his crouch medium kick. This is actually a pretty good change. On hit it's now +2, so that leaves you with more kind of hit stun on your opponent. It gives you a little bit more extra time to try and confirm into like an actual combo. So here I'm doing like the medium kick Tatsu fairly late and I'm still getting it. This should kind of help, in terms of like fireballs as well, but to be honest I don't see too much of a difference when it comes to fireballs. Like, I'm still getting these kind of situations when the opponent is still able to block from these kind of ranges. So you still need to pretty much go with an EX fireball in that situation, or even, if you want to activate your trigger, then you can just use that as well. Now on block, in fact, before we look at block, let's have a look. Now V trigger cancel is actually +3, so you actually get something from it now. It's not the best, but it's something. So if you're in a situation where you're in a scramble, you accidentally hit, like you land a medium kick into trigger, then at least you can actually do something about it now. Because there's times when I've tried to go for a crouch medium punch, but I've just hit medium kick too quickly and activated and put myself in a pretty crappy situation. But at least now I can do something about it. Now on block, that's a different story. So block, it's still -4. Like, I don't think they're going to give Ken any bigger buffs in that kind of situation. In terms of block and activation, you're actually -3. So I wouldn't recommend this as a go-to button to activate trigger. Standing medium kick is obviously the much better option. You can see there you're +6 even on block, and +9 basically without block. So the medium kick buffs are pretty good. So what this also allows is new counter hit situations as well. Okay, so let's look at a few counter hit kind of situations. Now this now links into lights. Because it's +4 on hit, you can get light on counter hit. You can get a full combo out of it, so it's pretty decent, you know what I mean? It's something new. If you're crazy enough, you can go for something like that. I mean, probably not the best option, you know, for a meaty crouch medium kick, but at least, you know, on counter hit it can link into a chin buster, so it is what it is. It exists, but it is an option. Not one that I recommend, but it is there. Now his next change is the expanded hitbox on the very first hit of his hard kick Tatsu. This basically just makes a couple of combos and situations a little bit easier. Now the hard punch one is still a little bit kind of strict, but you can get some more situations like this. So the first hit expands the hitbox, you can get some slightly better situations and get some more confirms into hard kick Tatsu slightly. It is there. Okay, one more that I forgot to mention previously in terms of overheads. Now his Inazuma kick, or Inazuma, however you pronounce it, that's also -7, but as I mentioned, that is across the board for all overheads for all characters. Okay, so now the next one, which is his V-Trigger 2, the Shinryuken. This has also been buffed. Now this is probably something that should have been put there since day one. You can now get something from every level of Shinryuken. For example, on Shinryuken level 1, you can now follow up with a hard punch DP and also a critical art, which is pretty handy. So if you're quite low on meter and you just activate that final kind of burst and you hit it, you can now confirm into a critical art. Now with V-Trigger level 2, you get a little more from it. You get an EX Tatsu as well as EX DP, which is a little mini kind of change as well. So they changed the upward hitbox for the EX DP after the Shinryuken, so you'll see what I mean. You see there, the way it hits on the startup of the EXDP there, that change has been made specifically for that interaction for his EXDP. Again, he gets critical art from this as well. Now, one more thing to note about the Shinryuken is all the damage has been decreased. Now, I'm not sure why this is something that they decided was a good idea. You know, Shinryuken has already not been utilized as much, so you know their patch notes were literally saying that not many people are using this, so they've acknowledged that people don't use it as much. So I'm not sure why they decided to nerf some of the damage. For example, like in level 1, the damage is decreased from 140 to 110. The stun is decreased from 200 to 150. Level 2 has went from 170 damage to 140. And you know what, I really don't see why they've nerfed the Shinryuken as well as giving it more buffs. It needed the damage with it as well. I mean, it is in a much better position than where it was before. It is something that I may actually consider using in certain matchups, but certainly not going to use it over V-Trigger 1 because, well, it's too damn good in comparison. Okay, so the next change is to his Line Breaker. So the Line Breaker is something that was a little bit annoying at max range because you would get your medium kick, but then the hard kick would actually whiff at max range against a lot of characters. So now they've added a little bit of change onto this, so now it's a lot more consistent. So I've tried it in matches, tried it in training mode, it's fine. I haven't whiffed it even once after the first medium kick has hit, which is great. So that now gives you something to do in the neutral as well, so more options are always better options, so there's no such thing as bad new options. New options are new options essentially, so that's something I've always kind of wanted for a long time, is to fix this, because there's been a lot of situations where I really actually would have won the match or even the set, and that whiff kind of cost me because it threw me off and I just got bodied basically for that last portion of that round. because of that same situation. I got punished basically because the hard kick whiffed. Okay guys, so that wraps up this video. Thank you very much for tuning in again. Hope this covers a lot of things and answers a lot of your questions. If you do have any more questions, please leave in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And let me know your thoughts overall. I mean, in my personal opinion, I feel Ken has been buffed. Now, is he more kind of tournament viable? Is he going to be in there against the likes of like Ibuki and stuff like that? Maybe not so much, but he is in a better position than he was in the previous season. A lot of inconsistencies have been fixed. These are very kind of positive changes. Ken overall has been buffed. He's a much better character. Overall, they've fixed a lot of little things that there were problems. Now those situations now will work and you will get those combos, for example, like the crouch medium punch kind of stuff, the line breaker. So there's many positives to what's happened with Ken in Season 5. This is what Season 4 Ken should have been. And as far as Capcom have said, this is going to be the only big patch coming to the game in terms of any balance patches for pretty much the most of the year. So guys, this is pretty much what we have and what we're stuck with, and overall, I mean, I'm quite optimistic about it. I'm not one of those type of guys who is going to be sitting there like, oh, Ken's trash, Ken's this, Ken's that. I mean, if Ken's trash, then what are you going to do? Are you not gonna work on his problems? You know, are you not going to try and fix the character, work around what he doesn't have, work on what he does have, how he can improve? I mean, you'll see certain YouTubers and people on Twitter saying Ken trash, blah blah blah. Well, for people like that, I have just one single thing that I can say to you. In this game, online, every character is viable in this game, okay? Every single character is viable online in this game. If that was not the case, we would not be having Warlord Ken players, Ultimate Grandmaster Ryu players, Fang, Alex. People would not be reaching those levels, those ranks with those characters if they were not viable. They may not be 100% viable for tournaments, but online they are more than viable. The lowest tier to the highest tier, everyone is viable online. So take your character, don't care about what anyone else says. If you pick Ken, if you pick Ryu, if you pick Kage, if you pick Nash, if you pick Akuma, no matter who you pick whoever you want. If you like the character, love the character, improve with the character, you know, become who you want to be as a player, regardless of what anybody else says, because it's your game, it's your experience. You can do whatever you want with your own character. So for me, I'm sticking with Ken. I've stuck with him since Season 1. I'm quite happy with his changes and he's in a much better position, and I'm only going to get better with this character. So again guys, on that note, I'll leave you today, and thank you very much for tuning in again, and take care everyone.